I actually started recording this yesterday and I didn't like the way my video turned out. And I'm so glad that I stopped because now I get to record this video after that situation happened at the White House that has me going down a Gemini like rabbit hole and is so aligned with the current astrology because what the F was that? Let's talk about it today. If you don't know me, hi, I'm the Astro Mama. I'm a certified professional astrologer and board certified psycho-spiritual life coach. I'm also a real life mama. And I bring the cosmos down to earth to help ground deep feelers, creatives, and mystics. So if you fall into any of those three categories or all of those categories, welcome to my page. I'm here every week sharing what's going on in the astrology so you can swim with the cosmic current instead of against it. We go in chronological order, transit by transit and I'm really passionate in getting astrology into as many hands as possible in the way that it's really meant to be delivered, which is human to human. I love doing readings. Readings are awesome. We can go super deep and I do offer them. And also, I understand that we live in a world where not everybody can afford a reading. So I like to provide these forecasts for both groups of people, for my clients who are just looking for that weekly support to layer on top of their own personal astrology and their personal transits. And then also for anybody else who is just wanting to better themselves, wanting to create a life that actually feels good for them. And I especially work with people who are sensitive, people who are intuitive, people who are psychic, and people who are creative, because I do feel like we are the ones who need grounding the most. You can't create anything in the world, even if you are a super mega genius, even if you're the most creative songwriter, even if you're the most psychic out there, if we don't have routines and systems and structures in place. And I feel like one of those things you can do is plan your week. And what a better way to plan your week than with the astrology and what's happening so that you can get the most out of every moment because life is short and we are only here on Earth for so many days. So, like I just shared, Uranus entered Gemini literally. I'm recording this on Sunday, April 26th, and Uranus entered Gemini yesterday. Within minutes of Uranus entering Gemini, um, there was a assassination attempt at a White House dinner. I'm being cautious of my language because I don't want to get censored on YouTube. And I also don't want to spread misinformation, but just point blank period, what I've seen is I saw that there was a assassination attempt at a White House dinner, literally within minutes of Uranus entering Gemini. Now, this is fascinating because, as I spoke about in my last video, and if you haven't seen it, you can watch it with the link below. Uranus in Gemini is a transit that is associated with war and conflict, especially within the United States. As you can see with his chart, I'll put it here. Our current president, Donald Trump, has his North Node, Sun, and Uranus in Gemini natally. So that could indicate like a shocking turn of events, some kind of electric shock. We've already been noticing curiosity around his ability to be in office. Some shocking news come out about his actions in the world. I don't want to talk too much about him. Like, I just don't want to give him any more attention. But where this could have played out for you. So let's just rewind a little bit. So Uranus was in Taurus. It was in Taurus for 7 years. And you have just completed, congratulations, a Uranian cycle of wherever you have Taurus in your natal chart. And you can also book a reading with me to figure that out more deeply. When Uranus moved to Taurus, it brought electric shocks, changes, and innovation to that area of your life. And Uranus serves as the great liberator. Uranus is also a neutral planet. It's not a malefic and it's also not a benefic. For example, if you're a Taurus rising and Taurus rules your first house, you could have had a lot of changes take place or been encouraged to change maybe multiple times your aesthetic, maybe also your identity. Perhaps changing your name or changing your hair color, maybe getting a tattoo, maybe getting a tattoo removed, some kind of change in the physical vessel, your physical avatar. Uranus, I feel, has this mission for everybody to just be themselves, to be the fullest, most authentic, most vibrant versions of themselves. And Uranus energy to me is a little utopian in the sense of imagine a world where everybody is so unique and everybody's so empowered and everybody's like living out their full purpose. And it will shock you to get there yourself. So it could also be that maybe you went through something physical, some kind of physical change that is now allowing your vessel to be more aligned with what's happening internally for you. Let's say you have Taurus in your sixth house. Uranus could have been adding some electric currents to your health and wellness. It could have presented you some sort of medical issue where you had to really switch up your lifestyle to be able to nurture yourself. It could have also highlighted a need to change your routines and your day-to-day habits and rituals. Maybe you, I don't know, maybe you used to consume a lot of cannabis or something like that, and you noticed that you were like falling asleep at work. So during this transit, you had to let that substance go so you could be more productive. Let's say that Taurus is in your 12th house. Maybe you went through some big changes when it comes to your spiritual connection, your subconscious mind, your dream world, maybe even your creativity, maybe your mental health, maybe also a mission to support others and heal others could have come to your awareness during this transit. So now we are moving through again this pure 7-year cycle of electric shock, innovation, change, and liberation, wherever Gemini rules in your chart. Uranus and Gemini as a whole, I spoke about this a little bit in the last podcast, and we'll continue to touch on it just throughout the next 7 years as it moves through the cosmos and aspects with different celestial bodies. Essentially, though, Uranus and Gemini it's very much a trickster energy. It's bringing in this need to innovate or change the way that we communicate with each other. We might be presented with situations with whatever area of your life that this is transiting where you have to get really embodied in whatever it is in whatever area of your life that is in your true self. The people who will be the most successful during this transit are the weirdest, quirkiest, most innovative people that there are. Who is actually magnetic? Who's actually attractive? Is it people who are following whatever's trendy right now, or is it the person who started the trend? And it can be easy to lose sight of who started the trend. So, for example, I saw on my Instagram traveling the other day the page of the original creator who made hot girl walks and like trademarked that. I love the concept of a hot girl walk. I remember when that was so popular, and I still take them and I tell my child about them. Like, we have to go for a hot girl walk. It's an iconic concept. And I had no idea who created it. But it's not saying that that person wasn't innovative and unique. But what is magnetic is something that can carry on past you. You could find during this transit, you come up with an idea that goes beyond you. And maybe within yourself, that idea you have is also liberating you. Perhaps this person, I don't know much about her, but maybe this was like her big breakthrough. Maybe this is how she became famous or well known in her niche. Maybe this was how she learned that she was a magnetic speaker and that she had this ability to have a cool idea and present it to people and for it to go viral, right? So we could be seeing people, we're having these ahas, these epiphanies, these innovative ideas, and we're sharing that with the world, and it's changing the world. We're also being shocked ourselves as a result or in tandem with that outward shock that we are manifesting. So all that being said, let's jump into the astrology for the week. I just wanted to share with you a little bit about where we just were. And Venus is also now in Gemini until May 8th. Venus is also in Gemini until mid-May. So you might find that there's also a little bit of a financial boost, a beauty boost, and a love boost. Again, coming back to that, like the weirdest part of you, and I say weird not in a bad way. I understand, like, if you've been bullied before, called weird, our society tells us that that's bad, but this energy is very much giving Lady Gaga. It's giving the way that she rebranded herself to be so unique and different, the way that her messaging is so much around activating the unique. She's been such a great inspiration to Bad Bunny. Rock, but Bad Bunny had Lady Gaga perform at the Super Bowl with him. And so many people were wondering, why is she there? This is supposed to be like a Latina pride moment. She's not Latina. She's taking up space. She was there because he wanted her to be there, because he literally invited her to be there with him, because her being so unique and different was a huge motivator for him to spend literally 10 years building his own unique personal brand that took off after his Saturn return. Everybody that inspires us is inspired by someone, and there's this cool kind of lineage, and you can see the themes, the similarities between all the people in that lineage. The most important part of creating a legacy on this earth or being a part of a greater mission is to be fully connected to your freak flag, to the parts of you that you think are bad or wrong, reclaiming them through whatever area of your life Gemini is in. If it's in your third house, maybe it's reclaiming them through your social media, through writing a book, through having some sort of dissertation, or doing like speeches in your local neighborhood, opening up a plant shop or a tarot card shop or something in your environment. Maybe starting a podcast with a sibling or writing a book with a sibling. I also feel like with Uranus and Gemini, we're going to see a lot of twins around. I'm a twin, so I'm kind of excited about that. But seeing people getting pregnant with twins, this wasn't when Uranus was in Gemini, but remember when Tia and Tamara was really popular and Sister Sister and the Olsen twins, and there was this kind of uh, obsession or like cultural fascination with twins. Like I could see that coming back around. Gemini's in your first house, you could find yourself really changing the way that you show up in the world through your fashion. Maybe you dye your hair pink, or you start wearing like a lot of color block. I feel like color blocking. Gemini rules your eighth house. You could find yourself marrying a partner that you wouldn't normally be attracted to, and then falling into like a huge amount of wealth as a result of this connection, or the two of you enter some kind of like joint venture that is different and unique and innovative. So it's just cool to look at the different ways that Uranus and Gemini can manifest for you more personally, because you will hear astrologers and people in the news and just people in our world talking about how, again, this is a transit that has been associated with war and violence and stressful times in our country, collectively, but also you are an individual within the greater macrocosm of the world. The first transit of our week happens on Tuesday, April 28th at 9:03 a.m. Pacific time, and that is the moon enters the sign of Libra. So our sun is in Taurus and our moon is in Libra, and this is a very Venusian vibe, as Venus, the planet of love, beauty, and finances, rules Libra and Taurus. And Libra and Taurus have different ways of expressing Venusian energy. Taurus energy expresses it in a very luxurious, prosperous, but slow moving, methodical, and sustainable way. Whereas Libra energy expresses this maybe through art and aesthetics and finding harmony within connections between other people. The sun currently being in Taurus is asking us to be really mindful of the seeds that we are planting, not to just tend to the seeds that we're planting, tend to the garden that it is that we are building, but also get clear on what is it that I actually want to grow? What is it that I actually want to water? Like I said earlier in the intro, our life on this earth is so short. And every bucket of time that every bucket of our day and our time that we're using for something is taking away from something else. And this is why I'm so passionate about planning my schedule for the week or planning my schedule for the day, or having like personal check-ins with my business or financial check-ins or relationship or whatever, like scheduling date times with my girlfriends and everything like far out, because really it all goes by so fast. And if you don't have some kind of structure or routine or way to check yourself and where your energy is going, then you're going to miss it. And I don't want you to miss it. The sun in Taurus also inspires us to be in this moment, to very much be in our physical vessel, to cuddle up with a blanket, to cook a nourishing meal, to work with your hands in some way, or to bring your feet on the earth and just feel the grass between your toes or the sand between your toes. The moon in Libra has a similar vibe that, again, is going back to our relationships with other people. A journal prompt you can ask yourself during this time is, how can I create more harmony within my relationships with other people? Libra energy also encourages us to care about beauty, care about aesthetics, care about fashion. After the moon enters Libra at 10:43 a.m. Pacific time, Mars in Aries will make a trine to Lilith in Sagittarius. This energy is really finding the courage or the will to be you, to be the fullest, most authentic expression of you. So much of our society talks about goal setting and mindset work and achieving things. And we forget that if you don't know who you are before you set out on the journey, what is it that you're actually creating? I find that this kind of conversation goes about two ways. If you don't know who you are, but you start on a manifestation journey and you are really activating your will and you're doing all the things, you either A, don't find success because there's a dissonance between how you are showing up in the world physically and who you are internally. And manifestation needs coherence. It needs the opportunity for you to be magnetized to what you're manifesting. Now, another thing that could happen is you could become really successful. You could work, hustle, grind, get all the way to the top of whatever it is and not feel fulfilled. You could achieve something and actually feel exhausted, burnt out, empty. You could feel sad or depressed during a time where you're supposed to be celebrating, you're supposed to be excited. It could also be that maybe you have some healing work to do to fully be able to accept it into your reality. But for the context of this conversation, it could just be that you didn't actually want what it was that you created. If you find yourself in any of those situations, give yourself some compassion and you can always start again. There's so many people we look up to who totally changed their lives around in their 40s and their 50s and their 60s. I met this lovely woman who was in her early 70s 5 years ago, and she had just started her transition as a transgender woman. And she said to me something along the lines of, she doesn't regret doing it now. She would regret if she never did. And I thought that was so powerful. Ask yourself in your life, what is something that you wouldn't regret doing now, whatever age you are, but you would regret if you never did? And that is the question I want you to bring into this Mars trine Lilith conversation. This encouragement to be yourself carries on throughout the rest of this day, as Venus in Gemini makes a trine to Pluto in Aquarius at 4:39 p.m. Pacific time. Typically this alignment in the sky can indicate some profound shifts and changes when it comes to your love relationships, beauty, and finances. And I could see, just given the earlier transits of this day, that success and passion and growth could be coming from you being you. When you are you, you radiate. When you are you, you are magnetic. When you are you, you start to attract those opportunities, those people, and those experiences that are aligned with you. And lastly, when you are you, you will allow more individuality, more freedom of expression, more expansion and change within other people. And who doesn't love that energy? Who doesn't love that energy of being excited about changing a part of you and sharing that with someone who's also excited because they feel confident in their own evolution? It's juicy. It's a vibe. The blessings and the relationships that you crave will come through you being you. You might have to grow. I'm not saying that there won't be challenges. I'm not saying that you're a perfect human and that you won't make mistakes. You need to grow and change from them. I'm not saying that you don't have any habits or anything that needs to improve. All I'm saying is that the right blessings won't ask you to sacrifice you to align with them. If anything, they're waiting for you to be yourself, to align with them. That's the last thing I'll say. Sometimes people get stuck when they're going through a period of change and they're in this like waiting period, this void, and maybe they don't have a lot of friends, or they're looking for love and they can't find somebody that they're aligning with, or they're really struggling financially because they made a choice that maybe is to be more in line with their values. And they think that not having that right now means that they're doing something wrong, that they should quit. But the truth is, the universe tests us and says, how okay are you with the life that you're really meant to live if I tell you that you have to be alone for a little bit to get there? And it leaves me with this question of, if you could see this future successful version of yourself who got there after this period of waiting, would you have known in your heart that it was worth it? This happens a lot, I think, in love when people say, at least I feel this way about my partner. Like, I'm so grateful that the past people that I dated didn't work out. I'm so grateful that I had periods of single time where I was really sad and I really wanted a partner. I'm so grateful that it all worked out the way it did. And I couldn't imagine it working out any differently. But at all those times of being in the wrong relationships with people, getting cheated on, getting left in the dust, getting ghosted, being single and being scared, feeling like an ugly duckling, I wouldn't be in the relationship I am today with somebody that I really love. Welcome to Wednesday, April 20th. Venus in Gemini squares the North Node in Pisces at 1:04 a.m. Pacific time today. This could be challenging for the intersection of love, relationships, beauty, finances, and like your overall life purpose and how your soul is evolving. You know, they say that when you marry somebody, you're committing to loving multiple different versions of them, because it's impossible for somebody to stay the same throughout their whole life. And the more flexible you can be with allowing that person to change, you get to experience the benefits of meeting different people within that same person and having different phases of your relationship and different experiences of your relationship with one another as well as a result. This is also why I love progress charts in astrology. Progress chart shows where your soul's evolving over time. You do have your natal chart, but you're not the same person your whole life. For example, your sun sign changes every like 20 to 30 years. So does your rising. If you are looking to see how your soul is evolving over time, you can book a transit reading with me. I include your progress chart within that. The link to book is below. And I also do the same thing for couples, because your synastry chart is also growing and evolving over time. You won't have the same, you are not the same person your whole life. Your partner is not the same person your whole life. And your relationship together, therefore, is not either. And there is a lot of beauty in learning, how is my soul evolving? How am I changing? What are some new growing edges that I might face? Some new shadows that I might need to conquer? And also, what are some new superpowers that I'm unlocking that maybe I didn't have the first, 25 years of my life, the first 50 years of my life? Welcome to Thursday, April 3rd. The moon is your Scorpio today at 7:02 p.m. Pacific time, as this energy builds towards the Scorpio full moon tomorrow. The moon in Scorpio asks us for radical honesty, truth, and depth when it comes to your subconscious mind, when it comes to sensuality, and anything that we consider taboo. Because the energy is building towards a full moon, you might notice that there are some things that you need to release in your life based on whatever area you have Scorpio in your chart. If you are like already like ready to be vulnerable, to get deep with others, to get deep with yourself, this could be really like positive transit when it comes to releasing self-sabotaging patterns, behaviors, old relationships. Um, I was talking to my husband today about like feeling the desire to like sit with a plant medicine because you want to get some kind of answer, or pull your tarot cards or look at your transits. But there's a part of you that already knows what they would say. I really am feeling called to sit with grandmother again. But then I laughed thinking, I already know what she would say. I already know what I would be invited to do. So why don't I just do it? Why do I have to go do that thing if I already know? If you are scared, on the other hand, to venture into the underworld, to do shadow work, or for an unpleasant truth to be revealed to you, possibly, then this could be a more challenging lunation for you. But on Friday, May 1st, the full moon in Scorpio exacts at 5:22 p.m. Pacific time. It's making a few different aspects. We'll go over each one and what that could mean because it makes it trine to Jupiter in Cancer and also the North Node in Pisces, but it does square off with Pluto in Aquarius. The full moon making a trine to Jupiter in Cancer, you give you a very positive perspective on your emotional world. You could feel really ready to move through those shadows, to integrate them. You could feel really excited to heal and you could be feeling really like ready to heal what is not serving you. And with the full moon making a trine to the North Node in Pisces, you could be feeling like this is my time. This is the time for me to rise. This is the time for me to fully let this habit, this belief system, this sabotaging pattern in the dust. This is really the time for me to honor my emotional world and to let myself follow my heart, even if it is uncomfortable, even if it requires me to sacrifice things that I'm attached to, people I'm attached to. Understand that, you know, healing happens when you learn that your higher self isn't outside of you. It's not this like separate entity from you. It's actually within your heart. It's actually who you were before the conditioning came in, before you were told who you should be from other people. Your higher self is that part of you. It's the part of you that you're like, that you know deep down in your heart, you love that part of you, but it's something that you've shut off. This is a really big theme this week. Find the courage to be you. Find the courage to align with your higher self, which is really just you before the conditioning. But also with the moon making a square to Pluto tonight, just be mindful of any impulses. You could go through this trajectory of realizing that you want to move to Spain because it's really you to be on a beach in or maybe the south of France. It's really you to be in the beach in the south of France with like an Aperol spritz. Let's not like immediately book the ticket. Give yourself a couple days. Give yourself a couple weeks at least before you make a choice. Or you realize that you're really meant to be a fashion designer. What does it look like to keep your 9 to 5 for now and work on that fashion design business for 1 hour every day for the next 3 months? Or to have a savings goal of, I'm going to save 5K, 10K before I quit. Moon square Pluto's shadow side is restlessness, recklessness. Light side is genius and inspired. So we want to align with the energy of like inspiration, adaptability, and excitement versus like destroying things because they aren't aligned with you. It will all naturally fall away. When you're at a certain vibration, everything that is not aligned with where you're going will naturally fall away. So you don't always have to be like out there in the woods with the axe, like knocking down all the trees. Let the universe knock them down for you. Let those connections, those experiences, those habits fade away. This evening, Venus and Gemini will be making a sextile to Saturn in Aries at 5:45 p.m. Pacific time. This is a great night to be mindful of your words. Words can either heal or they can hurt. And also maybe to cuddle up with somebody and just like share your internal worlds with them, or to cuddle up with a blanket and do some journaling or voice memoing to yourself. Anything that feels like nurturing and that allows your emotions to run wild in a safe way so that you can have a breakthrough, you can have an aha, and you can have an epiphany. And also, possibly, you could be producing that for somebody else or holding space for somebody else who's going through that themselves. We're going to skip ahead to Sunday, May 3rd. Mercury enters Taurus today at 2:57 a.m. Pacific time, and it will be there until May 17th, which is encouraging us to take a very mature, sustainable, patient attitude when it comes to mercurial themes like communication, siblings, and neighborhoods. This is a great transit for budgeting, for revamping or revising copy on your website, or planning some kind of written or spoken project. Um, Also, through finding ways to activate your senses, like learning massage or buying some new incense possibly while you work and you burn them while you're working. It's like a very like quality over quantity approach with Uranus and Gemini. This is really going to be present now that we have AI and we have this ability for anybody to just type in something and have somebody else write it. I think we're going to crave more and more writing that comes from people's brains. And it's no judgment towards people who use it. Everything analog kind of comes back around and becomes trendy. It like fades out and then now it's trendy again, like clocks or I think cursive and calligraphy will definitely make like a big comeback. People will be really liking to write handwritten letters and notes, and that will be seen as almost like a luxurious, meaningful gift, right? Because when everything can be digitized and streamlined and uniform, we might find ourselves really craving that which is raw and authentic and real. And then lastly, the moon enters Sagittarius today at 6:34 a.m. Pacific time, bringing a boost of confidence and optimism and philosophy to the cosmos, to our current celestial energy, our celestial crock pot, if you will. This is a great day to connect to the bigger picture through something like meditation, hiking, exploring, traveling. Do something different. Do something to switch up your routine today. Maybe cook a new meal or learn how to do a handstand. And Jupiter rules Sagittarius, and Jupiter is the planet of luck, expansion, and abundance. And I think the reason why Sagittarius energy is so lucky is because they are so optimistic. So find a way to cultivate that inner optimism, that limitless potential, that ability to see beyond your current circumstances today through doing something different. And just know that you're so loved and supported. So that was your Astro Weather forecast for the week. Thank y'all for watching. I'm here every week so you can swim with the cosmic current instead of against it. And if you're looking to go deeper, you can book a personal reading with me. The link is below. I'm sending y'all so much love. Okay, bye.